driver. Yay me. I fucking guess. I don't fucking know. Anyways, read Tumblr if you want to hear about that, or watch my shitty Get Ready With Me video. And I'm here to talk about spending the holidays alone. A lot of us in life end up being alone at one point or another during a not so opportune time, and I would say that this is definitely it. I've written a little list, kind of a guide, so I don't get too lost in this video. Let me just first talk about my experience about spending the holidays alone for a quick minute, so you can kind of know that I know what I'm talking about to a certain degree. I have no family, very limited friends to no friends, and I'm 25, and I have had an interesting holiday history. My family isn't, of course, not all of them are dead, and some of them are still alive doing their own thing, but they've never been a very healthy, friendly bunch. So I'll probably make a video about how I got kicked out and all that other crap, but this isn't about that. There are lots of reasons why you could be spending the holiday alone, and it could be for work because you're an OTR truck driver as well, or any other type of work, or it could be that just for whatever circumstance you're away from your family, but you'll be able to see them like another year. Or you could be like me, familyless, single, and friendless. First of all, people want to make you feel bad when you tell them that you're spending the holidays alone, and they want to make it seem like there's something wrong with you and that you should just make up with your family or your man or your woman or whatever, or your friend group, no matter how abusive and destructive it might be to be around them. And I just want to say that obviously, if that's the case, you should not listen to these people. It's not strange to spend the holidays alone. It's perfectly acceptable. In a lot of cases, it's much less stressful. Some might even consider it freeing to be away during this time. So that's number one. There's nothing wrong with you. Like I said earlier, we're all alone sometimes for some reason, and that's okay. And number two is make new traditions. If this is going to be a sort of long-term or like multi-year, maybe not long-term, like you don't have to freak out and think like for the rest of your life you're going to be alone just because you're alone a couple holidays. But if it is going to be long-term and you do know that with some certainty, making new traditions helps. Like for me, I don't celebrate at all, and my tradition is to just kind of treat it like a normal day. But for you, that might be different. Like my family, we did all the weird traditions. We had advent calendars, we had, the decoration, the carols, the cookies, we had a train. It was my dad's thing, the train was, and that was cool. But just like take your old tradition and change it so it fits just you, or you could just be like me and throw all that shit out the window. But repeating the same traditions alone can definitely be a sort of downer, so definitely think about that in advance before you get to like your Christmas Eve pajamas or your whatever. Actually, that is one that I still do. Maybe I'm kind of lying to myself a little bit. Nah, I just forgot about it. I don't do it every year, but I do love the Christmas pajamas still, and it doesn't bother me that I do it alone anymore. Like the first year that I spent the holidays alone, if I did Christmas pajamas, I would be like, ah, my heart, I'm gonna die. but now it's like a very comfortable sort of self-care thing for me. So, number one, there's nothing wrong with you. Number two, make new traditions, or you can handle it like I try to handle it. Number three is volunteer to work on the holidays. Depending on your job might be open on the holidays, and lots of people want to spend that time with their families, but they can't. So you, being alone, can go to work and you'll have things to do to distract you. You can be like me and just pretend it's a normal day, just like a slow one. And like having something to do can really take your mind off of it, depending on your situation, so you're not just sitting there thinking about all the things that should be a different way when they're not. So I personally love working. Unfortunately, I can't do that this year because this new job that I took, this regional job, they don't offer you anything to do over Christmas. So number 4 is to avoid social media. Like, this is particularly true if this is your first holidays alone. Your first holiday or holidays alone, because it can be, I don't want to say, maybe like triggering, like bring up bad memories or remind you like why you're alone. Or for me, I would feel bitter when I'd see other people's social media posts about how fucking great their holiday is, and they got this gift and they got that gift, and Boo loves me so much, I'm so special. So I don't go particularly onto Facebook that day. Screw it. You don't need that crap in your life. And then I found that the more holidays I spend alone, the less it bothers me, and I can just be like, oh, you're having a great time at your Thanksgiving, for example. Or, oh, your mom got you a new bicycle for Christmas. That's awesome. Like, good for you. But during the first couple of holidays that I spent alone, I definitely was better off turning off social media, so I don't let that bitterness seep into my day. Number 5, this is kind of a way to avoid spending the holidays alone, and a little cautionary point too. So number 5, I just wrote it down as Nerd Christmas. It depends on like what social group you're in, but a lot of times there will be other adults who don't really have families, who, let's say, moved across the country, and they open up their house, and all the other people who moved across the country or whatever, you know, whatever your circumstances, will come and they'll spend Christmas together. And I really liked Nerd Thanksgiving. I went to a few Nerd Thanksgivings, and you just, you know, play games and you talk, and it's really nice. But the other part of number 5 is like, some people who you don't know very well will invite you to their holiday gatherings, or they might. And I think that it's best to avoid that, because you're in their personal space. So you see them and their kids and how their life worked out, how you maybe feel that yours should have. And then you get all those questions like, oh, what happened to you? What's wrong with you? Why don't you just make up with your family? Why don't you just, whatever the situation is? So I find that it's best to avoid that type of really well-meaning invitation from other people that you don't know very well to join in on their family stuff. Number 6, prepare in advance. If you know you're going to be alone, and you want to celebrate, or even if you don't want to celebrate, it's still important to prepare in advance, particularly when it comes to food, because all the stores are going to be closed. Most of the things are going to be closed. Even places that say they're going to be open are likely closed, which is something that I kind of found out the hard way. And some of my friends or former friends have also found it out the hard way. So it's best to prepare in advance, like get food that makes you happy the day before. Because the day of, you're going to be so much more miserable if you forgot and now you don't even really have anything to eat except for like a bag of chips and a candy bar. That's going to make you feel like shit. Like, make sure to prepare in advance. My other thing is to treat yourself to something nice, and this is one of the things that you should keep in mind while you're preparing in advance. Like, for me, when I really want to treat myself nice, food-wise, I'll get myself a slice of chocolate cake from my favorite place to get a little slice of chocolate cake from is Publix, but a lot of the times Publix not nearby, so I have like a favorite chocolate cake slice from Walmart that I get, and that makes me happy. And just, make sure you have what you need. If candles is your thing, make sure you've stocked up, your Christmas pajamas if you like that, or, your warm bath. Just do nice things for yourself and just have like a you day and you time. And I know, like, I personally love to drunk clean. Drunk cleaning is one of my favorite things ever, so I'll give myself like a bottle of like shitty home Sutter wine or whatever, and I'll like drink half the bottle. I'll just go around cleaning stuff, and it feels amazing. I love it. Just like do something that's gonna make you happy, do something that's gonna make your life better, instead of just like sitting and staring at stuff. And that's another thing that, you gotta prepare for, because the liquor store, depending on where you live, is probably not open on Christmas. Like, you'd be hella lucky to find a liquor store open on Christmas. If you find one, send me the fucking address so I can know. Obviously, if you're in the truck, you can't really get drunk and whatever. Oh, make sure to avoid food that's gonna make you feel like crap. Like, for me, if I eat chips like Doritos or something, I'll feel like crap for like 3 days, so just make sure to avoid stuff like that. Okay, yeah. So, I kind of skipped over one, and it is listening to alternative Christmas music. It kind of goes with the tradition one. If like Christmas music makes you think of things like spending time with family that obviously aren't there, your friends that are gone or dead or what the fuck ever, a good way to get around that, if you still want to kind of celebrate, is to find yourself alternative Christmas music to listen to. I personally don't do this because, like I said, I don't care to celebrate holidays, but I know people who do this and it makes them feel a lot better. They really enjoy it, so you might want to try that out if you think that you'd be into it. Okay, so this other one is like kind of something that's a little more controversial, but I personally think that it's okay to lie to protect yourself if it isn't something that's going to hurt anyone else. So, like we were kind of talking about before, with people being down on you or asking you like personal probing questions or trying to insist that you get back with your abusive relatives or friend group or significant other, whatever, just lie and say that you're doing something. So I don't really lie because I work, you know, or I try to work. So there's no reason for me to lie. I just try to tell my work, hey, I'm available to work the holidays, and if you have anything to do, I'd really appreciate you sending it my way. But if you want to avoid all of those, like, just people can say and do some really fucking nasty things to you. And in order to protect yourself, you might want to consider just lying about the whole thing. But spending the holidays alone isn't a bad thing. It can relieve a lot of stress. It can save you a lot of money. And anything that can save you, like emotional distress and money, is a great thing in my book. So hopefully you enjoy spending your holidays alone, if that's what you plan to do. And hopefully if you're not spending the holidays alone, you're just watching this video because you like to watch me talk for some reason. You're one of the, like, 4 people who like to watch me talk for some reason. Be kind to those people who are alone, and remember not to say dumb things to them. I'm sure you're lovely and would never intentionally hurt anyone's feelings, but if you have that thought, just suppress it and keep it to yourself. And if you know of Nerd Christmas, you should fucking invite me, you asshole. Okay. Bye, guys. Enjoy Christmas.